So you're looking to play a Frost DK this season, whether you are completely new to the class, coming back after a break, or already playing it this season. I hope this guide can help improve you even just 1%. I'm going to go over kind of our abilities, ways to improve in your pillar rotation, and just kind of overall in almost like a simplified way. If videos aren't your typical style of guides and how you get your information, I also wrote everything you need to know down about the class in a Google Doc. It is linked down in the description. But without further ado, let's hop into a breakdown and a guide for Frost DK in Season 3. So first thing first, I just want to talk about our stat priority really quickly. We are playing two-handed Frost this season, so a little bit different if you played Frost in Season 1 or Frost in the past. You can still play Frosted one-handers, but I believe two-hander is just better overall in almost every case. Our stat prio as follows. We want Mastery, Crit, then Haste, and then lastly Versatility. It is the end of the expansion. It is the final season. This is the most powerful we're going to be until the end of the next expansion, so your stat prios might be a little bit more mixed. You don't need to super stack on Mastery or Crit. You'll probably be at that cap already or pretty close to it, so if you are at that diminishing return point, you can kind of switch around those just a little bit. DK is a 2-resource class. It's pretty simple. We have runes and runic power. Runes, you have 5 of them. They recharge over 10 seconds. You can recharge 3 runes at once. Some of our abilities take runes. Spending runes generates our other resource, which is called runic power. And runic power is used for abilities like Breath of Sindragosa, Frost Strike, Glacial Advance, and so on and so forth. We'll break into those a little bit further, but those are the 2 resources you have to worry about and managing. Now, let's talk about Frost DK's abilities. First and foremost, to get out of the way, we have 2 procs that you need to watch out for. One, our Killing Machine procs. These are probably our most important procs and what do the most damage. They just make our Obliterates and Frost Sights do a lot more damage. We'll get into what Obliterate and Frost Sight are, but yeah, Killing Machine, very, very important. Our second proc we need to watch out for is Rime procs. Now, Rime procs empower our Howling Blast, again, an ability we'll get into, and it makes it cost no runes, as well as during our Pillar of Frost window, again, we'll get into it, it will generate a Killing Machine proc. So yeah, those are the 2 procs we need to watch out for. Now, our big abilities and cooldowns. Up first and foremost, Pillar of Frost. Now, this is our main CD, I would say. It's on a 45-second cooldown. We can fit 2 Pillar of Frosts in 1 breath cooldown. And basically what Pillar of Frost does is it increases your strength by 30% for 12 seconds. You can also take a talent called the Long Winter. Basically what this does is every time your auto attack critically strikes, it increases the duration of Pillar of Frost by 2 seconds with a maximum increase of 6 seconds. Breath of Sindragosa. Now, if you've played Frost before, that word might scare you. They've changed it. It's completely reworked now. So now we have an 8-second frontal cone. It costs 60 runic power, and it lasts for 8 seconds. However, every Rime or Killing Machine proc we spend during this window increases its duration by 0.8 seconds. So you pair this with your Pillar of Frost, your Breath, and you try and spend as many Killing Machines as possible. Next, we got Frostworm's Fury. This is a sick ability, in my opinion. Got an amazing graphic. Basically, we just summon a huge dragon. It deals damage to everyone in front of us. In Rider Hero Talent Tree, this will actually summon our 4 horsemen, and they just come and help us for 20 seconds. So yeah, big ability. We're really only using it in Riders, though, not Deathbringer. Now, lastly, for our cooldowns, we have the ability Reaper's Mark. Now, this is what we get for using the Deathbringer hero tree, and basically what it does is we apply a stack on our target. After 12 seconds or getting to 40 stacks, it will explode, dealing damage and giving us scythes. The application of Reaper's Mark and the first scythe we get after its explosion will give us a Killing Machine. So, an added benefit of playing with this talent, or this hero tree talent, I suppose, is we generate more Killing Machines. However, that also means we have the higher chance of overcapping Killing Machines, which we don't want to do. But yeah, that is Reaper's Mark. Applies a stack, gives us Killing Machine. On explosion, we get a scythe that applies a Killing Machine. Next, I want to talk about our spenders and builders, as well as the abilities we use to generate Killing Machine procs. So firstly, we have Empowered Rune Weapon. Now, we have 2 charges of Empowered Rune Weapon. We also regenerate 1 charge of Empowered Rune Weapon when we use Breath of Sindragosa. So what Empowered Rune Weapon does is it gives us 40 runic power and also gives us a Killing Machine proc. Now, do keep in mind the new Empowered Rune Weapon is a projectile. So on certain bosses like Dimensius, there is a small delay in pressing the ability and actually getting the rewards. So if you ever feel like there's a little bit of disconnect there, Empowered Rune Weapon is a projectile now. Howling Blast. Howling Blast costs 1 rune. It applies Frost Fever to our target. And when we get a Rime proc, it is completely free, does a little bit more damage. When we are in our Pillar of Frost windows, Howling Blast or Rime procs will give us a Killing Machine proc. Glacial Advance. Now, Glacial Advance is our AoE spender. And when I mean AoE, I mean 2 targets or more. We shoot out ice spikes in front of us, and it costs 35 runic power. Similar to the other abilities, when we are in Pillar of Frost, it will generate a Killing Machine proc. Now, on the contrary, we have Frost Strike. Frost Strike will generate a Killing Machine proc in Pillar of Frost. Also costs 35 runic power. However, we only use this ability in pure single target. Now, you know the ways in which we can generate a Killing Machine. How do we spend said Killing Machine? That is a great question. The answer is Obliterate and Frost Scythe. Now, when do you use Obliterate versus Frost Scythe? It's pretty simple. If you are in single target or 2 targets, we will use Obliterate. Obliterate costs 2 runes, it consumes all Killing Machine procs, generates some runic power. Similarly, Frost Scythe we use in 3 or more targets. It also costs 2 runes. It also consumes all Killing Machines. So there you have it. That is our spenders versus builders and how we get and spend Killing Machines. Now let's move on to our single target and AoE openers. This is just going to be a very simplified opener for both the Rider and the Deathbringer hero tree. Obviously, when you're in a real key, it'll be a little bit faster, but hopefully my explanation of this will help you understand the opener for both hero talents and the abilities you will be using. In our Rider hero talent, the big part about Rider is our Frostworm's Fury, which is this button here. It is a 1.5 minute cooldown, which lines up perfectly with Breath, which is also a 1.5 minute cooldown. And it is this capstone talent in the Rider build that is very good. So when we cast Frostworm's Fury, we call the 4 horsemen to come help us. So if we were going to be in an AoE pack, let's say we're an M+, whatever the case may be, you're going to kind of walk up to the pack, you'll Frost Scythe, you'll Fury, you'll Empowered Rune Weapon, Pillar of Frost, Breath, you can use another Empowered Rune Weapon, and now I just kind of want to try and not overcap my Killing Machine procs while also trying to spend 2 as often as possible, and that's kind of your AoE rotation. Now, if we are heading into single target abilities, whether this be M+, or you switch to a raid build and you still want to play Riders, it pretty much stays the exact same. The only difference is now we are going to use Obliterate and Frost Strike. So same kind of opener. You're going to walk up, you're going to Obliterate, Frostworm's Fury, Empowered Rune Weapon, Pillar of Frost, Breath, Empowered Rune Weapon again if you want, and now you're just trying to spend 2 Killing Machine procs, ideally, without trying to overcap, and trying to get as many Killing Machine procs as you can in your window without overcapping, trying to keep your breath alive, obviously, and then, yeah. So that's single target, very similar, almost identical. The main difference is Obliterate and Frost Strike. Again, let's say you were 2 targets, you would Obliterate and Glacial Advance. Single target, Obliterate, Frost Strike. AoE, Frost Scythe, Glacial Advance. So yeah, that is the rotation. What I said about Pillar of Frost applies the exact same here. And yes, this is the Riders. It's a little simplified. You get this cool horsey. And yeah, that is basically the Riders build. Moving on to the Deathbringer hero talent tree. Everything kind of stays the same, except we changed out an ability one for the other. So instead of having our Frostworm's Fury, we now have our Reaper's Mark. Now, Reaper's Mark's really cool. I love the visuals of this hero talent tree. We still are playing Breath. The only difference is now Pillar of Frost and Reaper's Mark are cast together. So we cast them together, and you could fit 2 of these every Breath window. Like I said, Reaper's Mark explodes after some time or 40 stacks. And then the cool part about it is you get these scythes. The scythes are really cool. They have a chance to give you killing machine procs, so you'll get more killing machine procs in this, which also makes it much easier to overcap in this hero talent tree. So ideally, try your very best to not overcap. You will do way more damage if you are not overcapping your killing machines, especially in your window. All right, if we are going into the AOE rotation of Deathbringer, the other hero talent tree, it is very similar to Riders. The only difference is we just got some cooldown changes. So when we cast Reaper's Mark, we're going to gain a killing machine proc. So that plus our empowered rune weapon, we should be at 2. There is also a chance that we get 1 from our auto attack from pressing Pillar. So you have to be careful to try and not overcap. It's difficult. Just reminder that Reaper's Mark will generate, when you press it, 1 killing machine proc. So we will try not to overcap here. But opener is pretty much the same. We're going to walk up. We're going to Frost Scythe, Pillar of Frost, Reaper's Mark, empowered rune weapon, Breath. And then now we are just kind of trying not to overcap. We are going to spend. We are going to generate some killing machine procs. And reminder, when we get our Scythe, which are those cool abilities, after our Reaper's Mark explodes, we will generate a killing machine. So in a real scenario where you are blasting a bunch of mobs and you're going through your globals as fast as you can, you are going to generate a lot more killing machine procs in this spec. It is a lot easier to overcap. However, if you do a great job at not overcapping, you will be blasting on the DPS meters and impressing all of your friends. So reminder, try your best not to overcap. But aside from that, the rotation and opener stays very much the same. Now, Deathbringer and Single Target has very, very good damage. With Reaper's Mark and Breath going, you are going to blow up targets. So on a lot of fights, Deathbringer might be better if you need a little bit more prio damage. Or if you just enjoy the visual of Deathbringer or enjoy having that extra 45-second cooldown so your mini burn feels more impactful. So you're going to walk up, obliterate, Pillar, Reaper's Mark, empowered rune weapon, Breath, obliterate, build, obliterate. Yep, and that's basically it. Try and use 2 killing machine procs, use the rhymes, try not to overcap like I just did there. And yeah, again, when you're in the real heat of the battle, you will be kind of blowing through those a little bit quicker. Keep in mind, try not to overcap. Try and spend as many killing machine procs as possible. And that is the opener for Deathbringer. Everything stays the same if you don't have Breath. Just some tips for your Pillar of Frost windows. You always want to try and consume 2 procs of killing machine with 1 obliterate or Frost Scythe. You want to avoid overcapping your killing machines as much as possible. It is tough, I promise you, but the better you are and not overcapping, the more damage you will do. I suggest getting a weak aura that is a swing tracker for your auto attacks to avoid the risk of overcapping your killing machines. If you're at 1 killing machine proc, you can use an empowered rune weapon charge to get a quick second one before using your obliterate and Frost Scythe. And just a reminder, what generates killing machine procs? We have Howling Blast or Rhyme procs, Glacial Advance or Frost Strike, empowered rune weapon, and your auto attacks have a chance. Moving on to the important utility we have, as well as our defensive abilities. Now, this might be boring. You might click off of the video here, but I strongly suggest you stay just to get a general understanding of what these abilities are, because they will make you a better player. And we as DKs got a lot of tech that we can use to avoid a lot of mechanics and do more damage that way. So you'll probably want to hear why. So first and foremost, my favorite ability and the most broken ability in the game, AMS, or Anti-Magic Shell. Now, this prevents magic damage and its effects. It's very strong, allows you to cheese most mechanics. The most notable one I can think of right now off the top of my head is the Absorb and Priory on the second boss. You can dodge the chains on the Lizard boss in Ecodome. You can avoid damage on Big Mama, on Swamp Face. And off the top of my memory, that's all I can think of. But AMS is very strong. Use it basically off cooldown, and anytime you can cheese a mechanic. Death's Advance grants you movement speed, you can't be slowed, it negates pulls, displacements, and knockbacks. Anytime you're going to lose your character to a movement ability, a pull in, a suck, just press Death's Advance. You get to stand there, you get to laugh at all your friends that struggle against the pull while you just stand there AFK. Well, not AFK, blasting DPS. Death's Advance, when you're in the Riders build, gets turned into a cool little Death Horse, and you're much faster, so that's a positive. AMZ, or Anti-Magic Zone. Now, this is a very, very, very cool ability. Essentially, anytime there's going to be a lot of damage or magic damage coming out, you should put this down. It lasts for 8 seconds. It absorbs 15% of the damage you would take, helps your healers, helps you. Really just press this. I always take the shorter AMZ cooldown in my talent trees as well. I suggest you do as well. If you don't know where it's good, just throw it down anywhere. If you think it's going to be magic damage, throw it down. If you still take a buttload of damage, you know for next time. But just start throwing that everywhere. Throw down the AMZ. Very, very good. Icebound Fortitude, massive defensive. If you're ever pressing this to save your life, you messed up because you took a lot of damage. Damage reduction for 30% for 8 seconds. It blocks stuns, makes you immune to stuns. Lichbone. This is our 2-minute defensive. It reduces the damage we take by 15 seconds and increases our leech. It also makes us immune to sleep, fears, and charms. Death Grip. They took away our slappy hands. Rest in peace. But we still have 2 charges of Death Grip on 15-second cooldowns. This allows you to grip mobs to your location. You can kind of use it as an interrupt stun if you'd like. Keep mobs on the pack if they jump away. Stuff like that. And last but certainly not least, we have Death Strike. Now, this consumes some runic power. It heals you for 40% of the damage we took in the last 5 seconds, with a minimum of 11.2% of our maximum HP. If you are ever like, oh shoot, I'm going to die, press Death Strike. You will live. DK is considered the unkillable DPS, 1, because we are already dead, but 2, because we are the best class in the game. Death Strike, if you are in danger, save your gold from health pots. Still have health pots just in case, but Death Strike if you are in danger, and you will save your life, and everyone will be like, wow, that's so cool. Our DK never dies. But yeah, that is it for this guide. I apologize it took me so long to put it out, but I hope it helped you even just get 1% better. If you guys enjoyed this video, please, please, please consider leaving a like, a subscribe, or a comment down. It helps me out a ton. I appreciate all you guys sending me nice messages, asking me to make this video. I will try and stay on top of it in the future. But without further ado, I will see you guys in the next one, and I can't wait to see you guys topping the top of those DPS meters. Thank you. Bye-bye.